Hey Daily Dosers, my name is Tracie and I'm here to share with you our series on the Beatitudes. And I'm going to start back giving you a little bit of background information about myself, and that is even at a young age, my parents certainly recognized, and I recognized in my own self, this independent nature that I had. Some people might call it strong-willed, and it was this nature of, I've got it. I don't need your help. I can do it. You want to give me some challenge. If you can't, I'm going to show you I can. You're going to tell me that it's not possible, and I'm going to say, I'll show you that it's possible. And so as a child, I'm sure that was difficult for my parents. That's how I operated into my young adulthood. And then becoming a military wife actually just fed into that, really what I would call pride now. But this idea that I can do it. I am independent. When Kevin would deploy or be out in the training field, I handled it. I made everything work. I built benches and took care of kids and finances and all of those things. And it was only feeding this idea that I am independent and I don't need any outside source. And I was really believing this lie that I believe is very similar to what Eve believed back in Genesis. And it's this idea that you know better. You don't need a God. It's really better without him. And this self-sufficiency that the enemy convinced Eve, and honestly convinced myself as well for a long period of time in my life, that I really was in control and I was independent of any kind of source necessarily. And so Jesus in the Beatitudes kind of turns that counterculture and tells us how to live as believers and followers of him. So I'm going to get us started off Matthew 5, verse 3, and it just says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And so Jesus knew we needed to start right there. And first of all, blessed means happy, but not happy in our cultural sense, not happy with what's going on in our life or any of the external pieces of our life, but it's this inward contentment, this inward joy, this inner peace of just this contentment that we have and a true dependence on him. And so blessed is just the happy peace, but then poor in spirit. And I think what we can put in there is humble in spirit, and really understanding this piece that we're really wretched people. We're broken people. We have nothing in ourselves that we can bring to the table for the kingdom of heaven or to gain the kingdom of heaven. We have nothing. We are prideful people. We are rebellious in nature. That's that sinful flesh nature that has that tension there. We want to be in control, so it's that fight. So Jesus knew that, and he knew this was the place we would have to start, is checking ourselves of this humility. In the word, it shows us over and over again that God does not like a prideful spirit, and that he does honor a spirit of humility. And so that's our challenge just right here for today, is just checking ourselves and that heart of, do I really understand that I am nothing? I have nothing to bring to the table, and I don't want that independent nature anymore. I want to be dependent on a God. See, this humility creates in me this understanding and need for a God, a creator, a king, a savior. Those are the pieces that he wants us to be fully aware of in our daily life. And so Jesus knew, start here, because without that poor in spirit, that humility of spirit, we can't carry out the other attitudes that he's getting ready to tell us about and teach us on. So I would invite you to live in the tension. Ask God, stop right now when you hit the pause button and ask God to search your heart. Is there any area in our life that we are still holding on? We're still believing the lie that we can do it on our own, or that we've got this. Because the truth is, we are in deep need of a Savior and a God, and that just asking him for that humble spirit. And I know he will meet you here, and you'll be able to finish out the rest of the series on the Beatitudes. I'll see you next time.